You're setting out from Miami, the sun sparkling off the Atlantic, the air buzzing with excitement. The Bermuda Triangle. Just a myth, right? Suddenly, the sky darkens. Your compass spins wildly. GPS dead, radio static. Would you stay calm and troubleshoot, or would panic set in? Let me know in the comments. How would you react if technology failed you in the middle of nowhere? You try to turn back, but every direction looks the same. The horizon is swallowed by fog. You're officially off the map. If you realized you might never escape, what would be your first move? Signal for help, search for land, or conserve resources? Share your survival plan below. Let's unravel the web of theories that have haunted this corner of the Atlantic for centuries. Magnetic anomalies. Some say the triangle scrambles compasses, making navigation impossible. Did you know that in the early 20th century, magnetic and true north actually aligned here? Imagine trying to steer a ship when your only guide points in the wrong direction. Rogue waves. Recent studies suggest that converging storms could create waves up to 100 feet tall, powerful enough to swallow the largest ships whole. Would you rather face a wall of water or risk drifting endlessly? Methane gas eruptions. Scientists once thought bubbles from the seafloor could capsize ships, but there's no evidence of any major methane releases in the last 15,000 years. Atlantis, aliens, and time warps. From lost civilizations to space-time portals, the Triangle has inspired every kind of supernatural explanation. If you stumbled upon ancient ruins or a strange time tunnel, would you explore or run? Which theory do you find most convincing? Type science for natural causes or mystery if you believe in the unknown. Days pass. The food you brought is running low. Rainwater is your only drink. At night, you see flashes on the horizon. Are they storms or something stranger? Would you try to build a raft or stay put and hope for rescue? Comment raft or wait. Let's see who's got the best survival instincts. You find a washed-up journal. Its pages filled with frantic notes from someone who vanished decades ago. The last entry reads, "Don't trust the fog." Would you follow the warnings of those who came before or blaze your own trail? What clues would you look for to survive? Every attempt to escape brings you back to the same spot. The sun rises and sets in minutes. The stars above don't match any constellation you know. Are you stuck in a time loop? Another dimension? Or is your mind playing tricks after days alone? If you could send one message to the outside world, what would it be? Drop your message in the comments. Maybe someone will hear you. The Bermuda Triangle has claimed ships, planes, and thousands of lives, from the USS Cyclops in 1918 to Flight 19 in 1945, and even a small plane as recently as 2021. Yet, modern science tells us that this region isn't any more dangerous than other busy sea routes. The US Coast Guard doesn't recognize it as a unique hazard. So why does the legend endure? Maybe it's because we're drawn to the unknown. Maybe we need places where the rules don't apply, where anything can happen. Would you dare to cross the triangle knowing the odds? Or is the mystery just too tempting to resist? If you were trapped in the Bermuda Triangle forever, would you become a legend? Or just another unsolved mystery? Would you adapt and survive? Or would the endless uncertainty drive you to madness? If you could choose, would you want to know the truth about the Triangle, even if it meant never escaping? Let's open the floor. What's your theory? What would you do? What would you want the world to remember about you? The Bermuda Triangle remains a place where science and myth collide, a mirror for our deepest fears and wildest imaginations. If you ever find yourself lost in its endless blue, remember, sometimes the greatest mysteries are the ones we carry with us. Comment below. Would you risk the journey? What would you do if you were trapped forever? After months in the Triangle, reality itself starts to fracture. You find newspapers dated 1923 washed ashore. Your watch runs backward. Then comes the ultimate test, your own mind. Would you trust your memories if they began shifting? What if you woke to find your crew insisting you've been here for years, when you swear it's only been days? Type sanity if you'd cling to logic, or madness if you'd embrace the unknown. Scientists call this isolation psychosis, the same condition that drove some Apollo astronauts to the brink. But here, there's no mission control to pull you back. Every disappearance here follows a hidden rhythm. The Columbus connection. Even his 1492 logs describe strange lights here. Electromagnetic hotspots. NASA recently mapped areas where compasses deviate by 20 degrees, exactly where most ships vanish. The lost hour phenomenon. Pilots report losing 60+ minutes mid-flight with no explanation. Could you crack this code, or would you become part of the pattern? If you discovered a map predicting the next disappearance, would you warn others, or use it to escape? Comment, hero or survivor. On your 100th day, you find it, a shimmering portal in the mist. Through it, you see your home. But the year is 1945. The voice of your great-grandmother calls you. Do you step through, knowing you might erase your own existence? Or stay and risk becoming one of the Triangle's permanent residents? This isn't just survival anymore. It's a choice between who you were and what the Triangle wants you to become. The truth? Over 50 ships and 20 planes cross the Triangle daily without incident. The U.S. Coast Guard responds to 15,000 distress calls yearly. Most are routine. But ask yourself, if the danger isn't supernatural, why does this story haunt us more than any other? Is it because, deep down, we all wonder what we'd do when technology fails and the unknown stares back? If we offered you $1 million to spend 48 hours alone in the Triangle's dead zone, would you take it? Comment, risk it or never. We'll reveal what psychologists say about your answer next week. The Bermuda Triangle doesn't care about our theories. It doesn't need ghosts or aliens to be dangerous. The real horror? It forces us to confront how fragile we are when stripped of technology, when left alone with our minds in the endless blue. But here's the ultimate question. Could you resist the lure of the unknown? Or would you, like so many before you, sail straight into the mist, just to see what happens? Let's get clinical. The U.S. Naval Research Laboratory proved methane bubbles can sink scale models, but only in perfect conditions. Real-world eruptions, they'd need to be 100 times more powerful. So why do ships really vanish? Meet Dr. Emily Carter, insert mock expert interview, a marine archaeologist who studied Triangle wrecks. Most disappearances happen in the Triangle's busiest shipping lanes. More traffic equals more accidents. Add Hurricane Alley's rogue waves, and you've got a perfect storm of bad PR. But here's the twist. What if the real danger isn't the water, but the sky? NASA recently discovered space weather anomalies here. Sudden plasma bursts that jam radios. Could you navigate without GPS or comms? Comment your strategy. Meet Lucas, the one who came back. In 2015, this fisherman drifted into Key West after 3 months missing. His story? The stars. They weren't ours. And the storms. They'd vanish when I prayed. Psychologists diagnosed severe dissociation from isolation until they found barnacles on his boat that haven't existed since the Ice Age. Was he trapped in time? Or is the Triangle a mirror for our collective madness? Vote now. Should we believe Lucas? Or is science being gaslit by a good story? Here's what the US government isn't telling you. During the Cold War, they tried to weaponize the Triangle's weather. Classified documents show planes seeding clouds here to trigger storms over Cuba. The result? A hurricane that looped backwards into Florida. If you're trapped here, your best shot might be this. Track bioluminescent plankton. They cluster near currents that flow outward. Listen for humpback whales. They avoid the Triangle's dead zones. At midnight, look for St. Elmo's fire. This eerie glow often precedes escape routes. Would you trust 1960s military science to escape? Or would you risk the unknown? Before you click away, consider this. The Bermuda Triangle isn't on any official danger map, but that's exactly why it matters. It's a Rorschach test for our fears. A place where we project our anxieties about technology's fragility, nature's power, and the lies we tell about being in control. So I'll ask again, would you sail into the triangle knowing what you know now? Or has this video already trapped you in doubt? The greatest mysteries aren't out there. They're in what we dare to imagine. Subscribe now. The next dimension awaits.